for working folks here in this state. So, Russ has been out there every day working hard for families here in Wisconsin, and I am proud that this is my first stop on my campaign trip. So let's give him another round of applause. Thank you, Russ. And let's also give a round of applause to a few more terrific people here today. Our First Lady, Jessica Doyle, who has just been a terrific friend and supporter to me. Also, Representative Congresswoman Gwen Moore, my girl, my woman, Gwen. And a candidate for Congress, a wonderful woman that I just got a chance to meet, Senator Julie Lassa. Let's give her a big round of applause. Thanks, Julie. Thank you all for being here today. Now, to tell you the truth, this thing here, I don't do this very often. In fact, I haven't really been on the trail since a little campaign you might remember a couple of years ago. This cute, tall, skinny guy. As a self-described mom-in-chief, as you know, my first priority has been making sure that my girls are happy and healthy and adjusting to a very interesting new life in that big White House that we live in. Like every parent I know, my girls, my children are at the center of my world. And my hopes for their future are at the heart of every single thing that I do. That is the truth, and that is really why I wanted to be here today. You see, I come to this stuff more as a mom. And when I think about the issues that are facing our nation, I think about what it means for my girls. I think about what it means for the world that we're going to leave behind for them and, quite frankly, for all of our children. And I have the privilege of traveling around this country, and I meet so many beautiful children. Let me tell you, that is the highlight of my role. When I look into the eyes of those children, I see clearly what's at stake. I see it in the eyes of the child whose mom has just lost her job, and that little girl worries how her family is going to pay the bills. I see it in the eyes of the child whose dad has just been deployed, and he's trying so hard to be brave for his younger brothers and sisters. I see it in the child stuck in a crumbling school who looks around and wonders, what on earth is this going to mean for my future? That's how I see the world. And quite frankly, I think that's how most folks see the world. That's something that we all share, that regardless of where we're from or what we look like or how much money we have, we all want to leave something better for our kids. I know that was true in my family growing up. That's why my dad, as you know, after being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, he never hardly missed a day of work. No matter how sick he was or how tired he was, my dad kept getting up because he wanted something better for me and my brother. And it was also true in Barack's family as well. That's why his grandmother woke up before dawn each morning to catch that bus to her job at the bank. And when she was passed over for promotions year after year because she was a woman, she rarely complained because she wanted something better for Barack and his sister. And really, that's what the American dream is all about. That fundamental belief that even if you don't have much, if you work hard, if you do what you're supposed to do, you can build a decent life for yourself and an even better life for your children, right? That is the greatness of this country. But for too many people, that dream feels like it's slipping away. And even before this recession hit, for too many people, all that hard work just wasn't adding up like it used to. For years now, middle-class families have seen their incomes falling while the cost of things like health care and college tuition have gone through the roof. And this is something that Barack and I heard in every corner of the country during the campaign. Folks asking themselves, are we going to go broke if we get sick? What if we can't pay the mortgage? Then what? How will I ever afford to send my kids to a college if I'm not rich? Where can I find a good public school for my kids? And if I can't, then what do I do? How will I give my kids the same chance that I had? Folks all over the country worrying that maybe that fundamental American promise was being broken, and worse yet, that no one in Washington was listening. And that is why my husband ran for president in the first place. That is why. Because he knows that his life, like mine, is only possible because of the American dream. That's why we stand here today. And keeping that dream alive and within reach for all Americans is what drives him every single day. Trust me, that keeps him up at night. And that's why folks like you across this country joined our campaign. That's right. And we are so grateful to you. That's why you all made all those phone calls and knocked on those doors and stood in the freezing snow and the blazing sun. Remember? And I believe that that's why you and we're here today. We're not just here because of one election. We're not just here because we support Russ, which we do. We got to get this man back in office. We got to keep him there. But we're all here to renew that promise. We're here to restore that dream. We're here because we all believe that no child's future should be limited because of the neighborhood they're born in. We believe, yes, we believe that every child should have access to outstanding public schools like I had. And that every child should have a chance to go to college, even if their parents aren't wealthy, just like Barack and I did. We all believe basic things. If you get sick, you should be able to go to a doctor. And if you work hard, you should make a decent wage and have a secure retirement. We all believe that if you fulfill your responsibilities every day, you should be able to provide for your family, just like my folks did, and have opportunities to pursue your dreams and leave behind something more for your kids, just like we're all trying to do today. And we have to remember that that is the vision that we all share. And it's the same vision that my husband fought for as a young community organizer all those years ago, trying to bring jobs and hope to struggling neighborhoods on the south side of Chicago. It's the vision he fought for in the Illinois State Senate and the U.S. Senate. It's the same vision he talked about all those months on the campaign trail. And trust me, it is the same vision that has guided him, the change he's been fighting for every single day in the White House. Believe me, Barack knows that too many folks are out of work right now, and too many paychecks don't stretch to cover the bills. That's why he cut taxes for middle-class families. He cut taxes for small businesses as well, not just once, not just twice, but 16 times, so that these businesses can start creating jobs again. He stopped credit card companies from jacking up rates and slapping folks with hidden fees. And if you remember, the very first bill he signed into law as president was the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act to ensure that women get equal pay for equal work. Barack believes that every young person deserves the chances he and I had to get an education, and that's why he's reforming our schools from top to bottom. He's made historic investments in our community colleges. He's increased student aid and tuition tax credits. He's eliminated tens of billions of dollars in wasteful subsidies to big banks providing student loans, and he's sending that money where it belongs, to our students. And that's not just an investment in their future, it's an investment in our country's future. Barack believes that it is our solemn obligation to serve our men and women in uniform as well as they've served us. So, he's made one of the largest investments in our veterans in decades. He's helping them get the education they've earned, the jobs they deserve, and he's making sure they get the health care they need. Important treatments for the wounds of today's wars, like traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. And as Russ mentioned, and many of you know, I have also made supporting military families one of my top priorities as First Lady, because I want to make sure that these hard-working families get the respect, the appreciation, and the support they deserve. Barack is also making investments in clean energy so that we can create good jobs and leave a healthier planet for our kids. He's investing in scientific research, including stem cell research, that will transform our children's lives long after we're gone. And he's appointed 2 brilliant, accomplished women to serve as Supreme Court justices. And think about this. For the first time in history, our daughters and our sons watched with pride as 3 women took their seats on our nation's highest court. It's a wonderful day. And finally, Barack knows all too well the heartbreak and frustration that our health insurance system has caused for too many families. That's why he refused to take the easy route and walk away from health insurance reform, because he will never forget how his own mother spent the final months of her life not reconnecting with her family, not reflecting on her life, but fighting with her insurance company because they said her cancer was a pre-existing condition. Barack doesn't want any family to ever have to go through that again. And thanks to the reform that Russ and so many of you helped pass, they won't have to. Thanks to this reform, insurance companies can no longer drop your coverage just because you get sick. They can no longer deny coverage to kids with pre-existing conditions. Kids can stay on their parents' plans until they're 26 years old. And insurance plans have to provide preventative care, important things like breast cancer screenings and prenatal care at no extra cost. That's right, no extra fees, no extra charges. And that's not just about saving money, that's about saving lives. Now, these are just some of the examples of the kind of changes that we're making. And the truth is, it's because of all